What's up, Facebook? Ty Crandall here with Credit Suite. Today, we're talking about funding options for women, which is a topic that we've never covered today. We're going to be talking about some specific grants, some specific type of financing that's out there that's specifically for women business owners, and talking about some other funding that works really well for women-owned businesses. So, if you are looking to start a business, if you already own a business, a lot of these financing options may work for you, but especially if you are a woman-owned business, then a lot of this is going to make a lot of sense to you today. So today we're talking into 13 different amazing financing options for women. We're going to be talking about a lot of really cool ideas that can help you get money for your business. Again, it says Stacy Fortune Cookies Radley. That is awesome. Hopefully you're naming Stacy, and hopefully thanks for coming in. Okay, so we're going to talk about some specific grants and things that are specifically for women-owned businesses. We're going to talk about a lot of other options that can work for you as well. So first of all, let's start right here. Veteran Women Igniting the Spirit of Entrepreneurship, or what is known as VWISE. Now, this comes from the Institute of Veterans and Military Families, and basically what this is they're offering online training and follow-up mentorship through their partner communities. We're going to talk about a lot of ways you can get money, but this is a free way that you can get actual mentorship and support for women-owned businesses from VWISE. So this isn't actually a funding option, but it's a great way to be able to get the training you need, the mentorship here through VWISE to actually run a business if you're a women-owned business. So also there's SBA's Women Business Center. Now this is where they help you get access to capital. So this is SBA's solution for women-owned businesses. It's called SBA's Women Business Centers. And what these centers are, and yes, this works for sole proprietorships. Eileen, welcome. And welcome business our go-getters. So yes, SBA's Women Business Centers offers both. They offer mentorship, they offer guidance, they offer all the assistance for women-owned businesses for you to run your business. They also give you all different kind of strategies and help with obtaining capital, even getting your finances in line to actually qualify for an SBA loan. Now, there's also something called the Amber Grant. Now, this is $500 to different women-owned businesses, and they do this every single month. Then at the end of the year, they have one grant, which is equivalent to about $2,500 that they give to a small business that is a women-owned business. So a great way to go. Now, there's also the Eileen Fisher Women-Owned Business Grant. This is $100,000 to a women-owned business, and they do this every year as well. So if you've been in business about a year or so, there's another grant that can work really well for you. Now, the nice thing here is, again, we're going to be talking about a lot of financing options, but so far we've talked about some other things too. We talked about grants. I'm a huge fan of grants because it's money you don't have to be paid back. It's free money, right? As long as you know where it is and how to access it. And if you're a women-owned business, you just learned a few options there that a lot of people don't know about. Now, I'm also really big on the mentorship aspect of it, because when SBA and these other organizations are giving you mentorship and guidance at no cost, that helps a lot. I can tell you that sometimes, coming from a guy who specializes in getting people capital, the information, the help, the mentorship is probably more valuable than the money itself. So don't forget to take advantage of these opportunities to get the free guidance from places like SBA or from VWISE, because even those aren't directly related to giving you the money, they're going to help you get the money and also help you save a lot of money with learning the ins and outs that you're going to want to learn to run a business. Hey, Kimmy, thanks for coming in. So there's also cash flow based financing. Now, there's a lot of different options that can work here. Now, typically, you've got to be in business 1 year or more and have about $10,000 a month in revenue for this to work. Now, if you've been in business less than this, about 6 months, or you only have about $5,000 a month in revenue, there are still some limited options that will work for you. But if you've been in business 1 year or more and have about $10,000 a month in revenue, there's some great options where it will just look at your revenue to make lending decisions. Now, if any of this makes sense along the way, you can go to creditsuite.com/get funding. So let's talk a little bit more about this kind of financing. And Latanza, I think I pronounced that right. Thanks for coming in. So with this kind of financing, what they're doing is they're using just your revenue, and if you manage your bank account responsibly, you can get money. You can get about 12% of your annual revenue advanced to you in a credit line or a loan. If you have payments that go through PayPal or Square, which I recommend you do, you can get 30% of the money that runs through those. And they usually charge a very small fee and don't even do a credit check in a lot of cases. So my advice is to make sure that you have payments running through PayPal and Square. They give you more financing than anybody based on your revenue. So make sure that you get accounts that have at least some of your payments going through there. Now, another place to go is creditsuite.com/fundbox. FUNDBOX, Fundbox. We love Fundbox. We have every one of our clients go through and get a Fundbox loan, and here's why. They don't do credit checks in the beginning when you go to apply, and almost all of our clients that are doing some kind of consistent revenue for 3 to 6 months typically get approved for like $1,000 to $5,000 credit line, real credit line, interest rate less than 5%. If you're willing to supply a credit check, if you're willing to supply tax returns, they'll bump you up to about $20,000, $30,000 credit line, and if you perform well on that, then you'll get a chance to get that bumped up even more to $100,000. We have a $100,000 credit line with them. We love it. I cannot tell you how many clients we get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a month through Fundbox. Plus, you don't need to submit any bank statements or all that documentation. So creditsuite.com/Fundbox is one of the easiest to qualify for of these cash flow type credit line financing out there. But also know that using your revenue, you can get approved for about 12% of your annual revenue for a credit line or a loan. And don't forget, if you're doing this through PayPal and Square, that can easily bump up to about 30%. So let's not forget about that. Unsecured financing. This goes by many names. We call it unsecured business financing. It goes by unsecured financing, sometimes called credit card stacking, sometimes called startup loans. This is based strictly on you having good personal credit or a guarantor that has good personal credit, and you're able to get about $150,000 in 0% financing. The 0% only lasts for about 6 to 18 months, so you know. So the way that this program works, you're using credit and only credit to qualify. So cash flow doesn't matter, nor does collateral. You don't need either to get approved, so you can get it even as a startup. You're going to get about 5 credit lines, sometimes 5 to 8 credit lines. These report to the business credit reporting agencies. That's why I love it. Because not only do you get money up to $150,000, you build your business credit at exactly the same time. So you're able to get money and build your business credit, which helps you get even more money at better terms. So it's a great way to go. Plus, it works for startups. Plus, if your credit is damaged, you can use a guarantor as well. So it makes it easier to use friends, family members, potential investors, get money from all those people, because all they have to do is use their credit to qualify. The credit reports on your business credit reports, not personal, so it doesn't affect them adversely unless you don't pay off the actual debt. So unsecured business financing, great way to go. To credit lines for your business while building business credit and get up to $150,000 at 0%. We also, along that line, have a lot of collateral-based programs too. These are sometimes called asset-based lending, or collateral-based financing is what we call it. Personal credit and revenue don't matter. All you need is some kind of actual collateral, okay? Account receivables, purchase orders, 401ks. There's a lot of different kinds that may work. Let me go over to my whiteboard to show you some that may work. So you're able, for example, to use yours or somebody else's 401k or IRA, maybe a guarantor, and you're able to get 100% financing against a 401k or an IRA, and this gives you a 5% interest rate. If you have stocks or bonds, or maybe a guarantor does, somebody else that wants to invest in your business, you can get 90% against those with a 5% rate. Now, why I love these is because you may say, I don't have a 401k, I don't have an IRA, I don't have stocks, I don't have bonds, but the are 75% of business owners are getting money from family and friends. Well, it's much easier to go to a family or friend and ask them to pledge a 401k or stocks where they still earn the interest, they don't lose anything unless you default, than it is to try to get them to give you cash. So these give you more ways: unsecured business financing, 401k financing, IRA financing, stocks, bonds. This gives you more ways to tap into other people's money instead of asking them for cash. So it opens up those channels in the case that you don't have the 401k, the stocks, the bonds. Account receivables. If you're not already, you should let all of your customers pay you on payments, because you can now get 90% of that advanced to you within 24 hours, and the rest comes to you once the invoice is paid. The way this kind of financing works, you're basically just taking customers' payments and you're getting that money advanced to you within 24 hours without having to wait. This is also one of the keys to getting an SBA loan. To get an SBA loan, they want you to have collateral. The most common form of collateral for an SBA loan is account receivables. So by letting your customers pay on payments, you make it easy for more customers to pay you. You can get 90% of that money advanced to you the next day. The lender gives you 90% the next day. They collect on the invoices. They give you the other 10% when the whole invoice is paid, okay? And on top of that, you're building a really strong asset that makes your company worth more money and also open what we'll talk about soon, which is SBA loans. Purchase order financing helps you fulfill purchase orders. Inventory financing helps you get inventory or borrow against inventory you already have and get a low interest rate credit line. You can get equipment financing. You can lease it. You can get financing as a startup. You can lease it when you're in business, or you could borrow against equipment you already own, okay, and get cash back against that. You could use commercial real estate. This is one of the newest kind of financing using. Right now, we're able to get people into commercial real estate financing without any money out of their pocket, zero, and they're actually buying the properties that they're in. We've got a lot of our women clients that are doing this. So if you're a woman that's already renting or leasing a business location, the newest thing right now is to get in and get a low interest rate loan to buy the location. Your payment stays about the same, and you could do it with no money down. So now you actually own the building and you have an asset versus it just being rent that you're actually paying. So a great program that's becoming more and more popular. If you're an insurance agent, you can borrow against your book of business. You can even get money to flip real estate. So if you're a woman that's looking into real estate investing, then this is a great program to go. You can also get money to buy commercial vehicles. So again, this asset or collateral-based lending, this is a lot of different options under this umbrella that can help you. SBA loans now are getting a little bit easier and faster to get. Okay, 7A is working capital. You can use the money for any reason. You got to be in business about 3 years. They're going to want personal business tax returns. You're going to have good personal credit, business credit, and bank credit. And you're going to have collateral for about 50% of what you're borrowing. But for example, one of our clients that's a credit repair company, so let's say it's high risk because it's financial services, just got $350,000 through an SBA loan. So that means they will entertain higher risk industries. But again, the key is to have cash flow, tax returns that show profits. Very important. This time of year, you're about to finish up your taxes, so you need to make sure you show some kind of profit. The difference between no profit and some profit is the difference between you getting low interest rate credit lines and loans and not being able to get those. Term loans and lines of credit really don't become available unless you have tax returns to show a profit. So even if you show some kind of profit, you have the cash flow, you have the good credit, and then if you have something like account receivables, you have the trifecta to get an SBA loan. We're seeing these done in about a month or less. We're seeing 8% interest rates right now, and we're seeing client after client start to get approved for about $300 to about $350 fairly easily with SBA loans. If you've got the tax returns or the profit, you've got the good credit, and you've got the collateral. So let's not forget these, because again, we're finding these a little bit easier to qualify for than what we found before. SBA Express still is floating out there. It's just an easier way to get SBA loans under $350,000. Okay, and then don't forget there's alternative lenders too. Let's say you don't have what's needed with SBA. If you have 2 years tax returns that show a profit, decent personal credit, 650 or higher, 7% interest or less. Here's why I need to show you this. If you have 2 years of tax returns with no profit, 650 credit score, then you're going to have to get cash flow financing, which is much more expensive. But if the same tax return showed even a little profit, $2,000, $5,000, that opens up this funding option where you can get 7-8% interest rates equivalent to SBA, and you can also get 5-year or longer terms. So a great way to go. And this is exactly what matters more than anything is term, not interest rate, okay? Who cares about the interest? You write all that off at the end of the year. And in reality, I've spent my whole life in financial services. I can tell you, consumer and business, your interest rate's equivalent to your risk. It's that simple. If you don't want to pay higher rates, don't be a higher risk, right? But the term is what matters. The longer the term, the lower that payment's going to be. It matters even more from interest. So don't get a fixed on interest. Remember, interest is based on risk and you write it all off. Get a fixed on payment term. The longer term you can get, the better. What's nice about these SBA loans is they're 10-year terms. To give you an idea, you can get $325,000 $35,000 over 10 years for like $4,000 a month. But if you got cash flow financing and you did that only over 3 years, well, then you'd be looking at like $12,000 a month for the exact same money because the term is longer. So make sure that you're focusing on these alternative SBA loans, these SBA loans to get the longer term. The key to these is tax returns that show some kind of profit. So some kind of profit really matters here. Micro lenders, 500 to 30 grand. You can even come in now and get these from SBA themselves. Remember, SBA does SBA guarantees loans. So if you default, they guarantee to pay that money, okay? But SBA does offer these micro loans. On average, about 10 grand is what they lend. 30,000 is the max of what they lend, and you're able to go right to SBA. And what's nice about this is that the problem with SBA loans is you have to double qualify. You have to qualify with the bank that does the SBA loan, then the loan has to go to SBA to qualify. So literally you go through 2 underwriting qualification processes with SBA. With these alternative lenders, you don't need to. If you go to an SBA Direct and get a micro loan, you only qualify once. So that means that these are just a lot easier programs to qualify for, this alternative lending and the micro lending, than normal SBA loans. Okay, SBA startup microloans, so there that is again. I just mentioned that, up to about 35,000 working capital, 7 M's. M stands for micro. And then there's also some alternative financing. You don't want to forget about, the work well for women entrepreneurs as well. Angel investing to get a business off the ground. Venture capital once you're selling stuff and even before you're profitable. And crowdfunding, this is Kickstarter, Indigo, platforms like that, where you're able to actually go to put a project up and get the crowd or people to actually give you money for that actual job or that project. But let me clarify, those only really work if you've got a good social network you're sharing it to. And it also works if you've already lined up investors yourself. Crowdfunding won't work unless you've done both things. And the third is you got to have something kind of unique to go through. If you don't have like a unique product or service, if you're just like a real estate investor, and there's a lot of them, crowdfunding probably won't work. But outside of that, crowdfunding, if you have a unique idea, is a great way to go. If you're just getting a business off the ground and have something that could really be a big hit, then startup money through angel investor, even venture capital, can work really well. So a lot of options that we've talked about here. Let's not forget about this VWise, right? The Veteran Women Igniting the Spirit of Entrepreneurship. Make sure you look into this, because VWise, they give you all kinds of training and mentorship that I found is very, very useful for our women entrepreneur clients. Don't forget about these SBA's Women Business Centers. You get a lot of mentorship, a lot of guidance, and they also help you get access to capital. Part of what happens at these business centers is helping you access that capital. Don't forget free money, the Amber Grant, $500 a month. They give away $2,500 a year. They give away as one grant. And don't forget the Eileen Fisher Women-Owned Business Grant as well. $100,000 to women business owners if you've been in business 1 year or more. Great way to go. And these are specific just for women entrepreneurs. And then don't forget, cash flow financing. If cash flow is your strength, creditsuite.com/fundbox for a really simple, easy credit line to get. Unsecured financing, if credit's your strength, you can use a guarantor for that, up to 150 grand, 0% rates while building business credit. We talked about a lot of collateral-based financing, 401k stocks, IRAs. We talked about commercial real estate, purchase orders, account receivables. We talked about buying or leasing equipment, borrowing against equipment you already have. We also talked about vehicles and also even using a book of business as insurance agents as well. SBA loans, these are easier to get. Remember, the key here is to have good credit, to have cash flow per your tax return, some profits, and to have collateral. This is why account receivables become so important. Easier to qualify as alternative lending, 650 credit score. You got to have 2 years tax returns that show some kind of profit. You're into the year, so make sure your tax return shows some kind of profit. There's all kinds of financing that open up if you do have tax returns that show a profit versus none. Micro lenders with SBA or non, you can get loans up to about $35,000 with really good rates through these micro loans. A lot of people are not applying for these. They don't know about them. Angel investing, venture capital, crowdfunding as well. Helps you. I'm gonna leave you with one more, which is called peer-to-peer lending. Okay, peer-to-peer lending is becoming one of the newest fads and newest ways to get business financing, where you basically have individuals like you and I that are pulling our money together and investing into businesses. It's a great way to go. And just like crowdfunding has platforms that coordinate between the two parties, that's exactly the way peer-to-peer lending works. So Prosper, for example, is a platform that connects the investors to you and I that are looking for money. And so peer-to-peer lending is another great way to go. Check out our Facebook page or our YouTube channel for more information on peer-to-peer lending. So a lot of great options here. Talked about loans, talked about credit lines, talked about options that work if you're a startup, talked about options as an existing business. We talked about quick, easy credit lines you can get, ones that are SBA loans that require more. We talked about grants. We talked about funds where you can get training and mentorship as a women entrepreneur. So a lot of different ways you can get financing for your business as a woman entrepreneur. If you would like to learn more about all the funding you can qualify for, go to creditsuite.com/get funding. One word, two words, but put together. creditsuite.com/get funding. We never charge you a dime of money to get funding. We just don't. What we do is we help you get the financing. They give us referral fees in some cases by the lender. We get a discount because we do so much volume. We pass it on to you. So you get our help at absolutely no cost. You can't really beat that. And to get more notices when we go live on Facebook, go to facebook.com/credit suite. On our Facebook page, go to our messenger, type in EIN, and then we just notify you every week when we go live. Why do you want to know? Well, here's the next 2 weeks we're going to talk about annoying preventable reasons that people fail to build business credit and how to succeed. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to be talking about conquering your bank rating. Did you know you have three credit scores? You have personal credit, business credit, and bank credit. These are your three types of credit. Consumer credit you're familiar with, business credit we're going to talk about in a week, and bank credit. This is the credit scoring system in that banks use. It's a big deal because if you ever want to go get a big credit card or a loan or a credit line from your bank, including an SBA loan, they pull this secret third credit score. We're going to talk about your bank rating, exactly what it is, all the factors that take into account, and we're going to talk about the easy things you could do to make sure you have a bank rating that's high enough to get some of these loans, including SBA. That's what's happening in the weeks to come. So make sure you go to facebook.com/credit suite messenger, type in EIN. We'll notify you when we go live, and we have a cool free guide on building business credit there. And also go to creditsuite.com/get funding to learn more about getting funding for your business. Thanks for the engagement. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for the comments. If there's anything else we can help you with along the way, just reach out to us. All of our contact information is on our website, creditsuite.com. Thanks, everybody. Happy New Year.